Here we go, two teams who have had very, very disappointing regular seasons, but you can always salvage something with a win. It's the Phoenix and the Sydney Kings. In terms of a sports bet same game multi, I'll take the Kings to win. They've disappointed me a lot of the season, but they should win this game. Jalen Adams, 20+ points. If the Kings are to win, he'll need to get it done. And Ben Ayre, he's the last man standing for the Phoenix. 3+ made threes for him. Let's have a look at this. Get the QR code out. Get your free ticket to a Caulfield to see Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant live at Caulfield, former Chicago Bulls. You can't miss it.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
For the Phoenix, tonight is more of a game of guess who. More faces folded down than there are still standing. Tonight is a massive task. It's Cody Statman for three. Look at the Phoenix go early. Very low expectations of the Phoenix coming into tonight, but so far, they're holding their own. They're punishing him. The sold-out State Basketball Centre roars. The Heartland rises one. One of the most incredible against-the-odds victories that you will ever see.
One of the great upsets. There's some extra heat to this one. For the back-to-back champs, it's simple. Win, and the Kings are in. Lose, and it's title defence over. Phoenix already know their fate. Their season ends tonight, but they're keen to go out with a win and spoil Sydney's hopes. As for Brisbane, well, they're big Phoenix fans for one night only. Yes, this is a farewell for Phoenix fans here at John Cain Arena. A big good evening to you watching on at home. I'm Marilee Meadows, Damon Lowry and Pete Hooley alongside me. We're going to get stuck straight into that ladder because all weekend long there are so many machinations and ramifications, but tonight it's simple for the Kings.
Well, it is, as you said, win and get in. It would also be in their best interest to try and win by as much as possible. Try and get a home playing game if the results fall their way with that last Breakers game. And there's so much that rides on this. I'm looking forward to it. I've got significant concern with Damon's calves and his shins, but that's a different story altogether.
And Mahmood, the Sydney Kings coach, he's got plenty to discuss with his boys, especially after they were upset the last time they played Phoenix here in Melbourne. He needs to get them fired up right from the get-go.
The coach Mahmood, he shouldn't have to do anything. If I was him, I would have a whiteboard with absolutely nothing on it. It's all up to the players right now. Do you guys want to play playoff basketball, or do you want to go to Bali? That's the decision that needs to be made. And this man right here on screen, Jalen Adams, is going to have to lead from the front. Averaging 24 and 9, he's going to have to get his teammates to come along with him.
Jalen Adams speaking to him before this game, he says, I'm happy to be the man, but he needs some help as well. Denzel Valentine, I feel like it's the kind of week for a good Valentine's Day.
Well, it is, and he's got to be the one, right? Because Jalen Adams, we know he's former MVP, he's going to do his thing, but they need other players to consistently step up. And we've seen this, he's been hot and cold all season long, boys. Denzel Valentine is aggressive, especially on the offensive end. Good things happen for the Kings, and they're going to have to do that. Its start is so important. That's what hurt them last time they lost to underman Phoenix. They let them get confident. They've got to come out, send a message from the first couple of minutes, make Mike Kelly call a timeout, and if it's on the back of Valentine and Adams, good things should happen for Sydney.
And what about Jalen Galloway? He's coming into this one with some pretty good form.
Galloway's looking good. He's got some NBA teams obviously looking at him. He's been a little bit up and down, but I think most of that has been based on minutes. He's also been injured here and there, but he is a high-energy guy, probably a best defensive player, but he has an underrated offensive game. I like his three-point shot, and he's got that explosive first step. He can make a quick move and get on the rim and really embarrass you. So looking forward to Jalen to have a big game as well.
The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix has been tough all season long. They do get their skipper Mitch Creek back tonight after missing a couple with a heel injury, as well as Owen Foxwell. Still no Gary Brown. He's got a fresh injury and picked up a knee concern at training, and Abdul Nader also out with a knee injury. It's been a tough season for Mike Kelly, capped off by the most mild-mannered ejections of all time last week.
You think of Mike Kelly, the last thing you think of is him getting thrown out for any reason. And you're right, it has been a really tough season for him. We have another look at it here. Very mild-mannered. That's just who he is. He doesn't show a whole lot of emotion, and that more disrespectful is Damon Shorts right now than Mike Kelly getting thrown out. It's just the way it was, and even he had a bit of a smile about it. I'm no doubt he'd want to send these fans out the right way. And I'm looking forward to seeing an off-season where he can be really hands-on, he can build a team that he wants. I don't think he's had a lot go his way, because he's a terrific coach, and I'm wishing him all the best for next year.
Speaking of stylish, how about this man, Mitch Creek? He was absolutely on fire in the upsets. One of the greatest upsets we'd seen in the NBL when they played the Kings last time. Can lightning strike twice, led by that man?
Yeah, the pit bull from Horsham, Mitch Creek. It's good to win a championship, but it's also good to beat a team that you got. I don't know who that guy is, by the way. Actually, no, that's Scotty. Yeah, but Mitch Creek is going to lead from the front. He is actually the captain for a reason, and he relishes these moments.
I thought you could have worn some nice suit pants for Scotty Pippen, but no, you went with the shorts, Damon Larry. Let's get over to Joel because this one has a whole heap riding on it.
It does, Nez. Thank you very much. Starting lineup for the Phoenix. Matt Kenyon gets the start in his 100th game. Importantly, Mitch Creek is back for the hosts. And for the Sydney Kings, it's an interesting-looking lineup. Jalen Adams is out there, Sean Bruce, Alex Tui, Jonah Bolden, and Denzel Valentine. Notably, no Geordie Hunter, who has started 26 of 26 appearances this season. The Melbourne Sporting Precinct is buzzing. An A-League derby across the road. Taylor Swift's at the MCG. We are sandwiched between it all. And the Kings are in their championship era. But it could all come to an end tonight. The Phoenix trying to spoil the party and create some bad blood between these two teams. And Southeast Melbourne will take us away with the tip. Are you surprised by no Geordie Hunter out there for the Kings, Pete?
I think there's got to be something going on a little bit. There's good. Oh! Starting the game off.
What?
Hang on.
Wow, wasn't expecting that one from G-Gak. Tone setter.
I barely sat down. I was up again.
Outstanding start from Gorjok Gak and from the Phoenix. Jalen Adams in the mid-range. Tui trying to keep it alive. Bolden does. Tui underneath, can't hit. Of course, Hunter was picked in that Boomers team during the week.
Yeah, I'm getting Nez to be all over that because it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the way he started every single game, and he's been terrific, I think, for the Kings. The most improved player candidate, Mitch Creek, tees one up and there.
But I tell you, with Geordie Hunter out, that just means you get a double dose of Jonah Bolden. Jonah's been averaging maybe 18 points a game, and we all know what kind of scorer he is, the shooter that he can be. As we look at the Harvey Norman replay right here. And Gorjak Gak said, I'm sorry, Tui. The beer is on me.
What a way to start the game, and I just said it off the top. So crucial for the Kings to get off to a good start. They lost that game, the unlosable game many thought. Phoenix got up and about, they were feeling confident.
Bolden can't hit, and you've known quite quickly with the Kings of recent times whether they're on or not. In air underneath. Here's Gak again! It's the Gak attack early doors at John Cain Arena.
Great penetration by Benier, and we all know Benier, he don't know that they're on the bottom of the ladder. The way he plays, he just likes to get after you.
Big hit.
Jonah Bolden.
Big hit from Jonah. That's what he can do. Different to Geordie Hunter, space the floor.
Shooting at a 39% this season. Jonah Bolden get the Kings on the board. Just to quieten down a raucous Phoenix crowd. Creek going straight at Valentine. Bolden made sure that one didn't fall.
I don't know if there's anybody in the league that can stop Mitch Creek on the block one-on-one. That was just good defense, knocking it off the rim. But he can get that shot off whenever he feels like it.
Phoenix won the two games earlier in the season between these two teams, and Matt Kenyon gets game 100 started in fine style.
This is what the free swing is for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Everyone's got a longer leash. There's not too many poor shots you can take when you're still undermanned. Go out there, have some confidence, let it fly. They hit enough, they get up and about. Lightning can strike twice.
And the Kings need to win this game. There is no path to the playoffs that does not involve a W for Sydney in this contest. The Phoenix, they're trying to spoil the party, and Brisbane watching on, hoping that they can do exactly that. Valentine straight away, cans the triple.
It's a big game for the Kings. So Valentine, he's a bit hot and cold in NBL24, but when he starts feeling good, shots drop and they put points on the board.
Here's Cody Statman, had a big game last time out. Can't hit here, Bolden with the rebound. Bit of contact on the play. Valentine sees the opening. Adams in the corner. That'll do.
All right, now this is what the Sydney Kings are capable of. On any given day, they can get hot like that and shoot you right out the joint. If I'm the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, I'm going a heavy dose right there to that guy. Pete, there's nobody on the floor. When they run a ball screen and they switch, what the Sydney Kings like to do, I know everybody gets this free swing and they want to take shots, but if they just pump that ball inside the Mitch Creek, he's going to get somebody in foul trouble and probably get another 30-point game.
Hey, well, Mahmoud right now is thinking about challenging it. I think he's going to do it. He's going to get a challenge here from Mahmoud. I tell you what, he was screaming to the assistant to have a look, and I don't think they got the replay up in time, and then he was screaming for Jonah Bolden, asking, is this a foul or not? And Jonah just looked at him blankly. Just looked at him like a blank space.
Well, I get it. You want to kind of stop a run, but
too early.
Way too early. Just like our predictions, way too early for those.
That's just his first foul. And again, if Jonah was 100% adamant that he did not touch him, it's different. But he looked at him and was like, I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, it looks like it was all ball. Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, it looks right there.
After review, the coach's challenge is successful. The call on the floor has been overturned. We have a jump ball in the centre circle.
I'm right now just shocked that Jonah Bolden wasn't more confident. Got all ball in that. He was asked, he didn't give a good response, but Wood saw enough and he was right.
Early win for the Kings, up 9-7. Let's check in with Nez.
Well, I've checked in with the Sydney Kings bench and asked a question about Geordie Hunter, and they have assured me that he is fine. He will be out there shortly. He's got the headband on, ready to go. I said, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you stitching me up? He said, no, I promise. This is just tactical. He'll be out there shortly. So it's just a coach's decision, a club decision.
Trying to look at it tactically, it can make sense, right? Because Jonah Bolden is a pick and pop player, and what are the Phoenix really short on? They've got Gorjok Gak to protect the rim and then really nobody else. So by him being able to pop, brings Gak away from the rim, allows Denzel Valentine, Jalen Adams to get underneath, put some heat on the rim. That's the thinking that I like it. Geordie Hunter, one of the best pick and roll players in the league. He rolls better than any other big.
I'm all for some bigs who's popping out shooting threes, but the Phoenix are also very small, and I wouldn't mind seeing Geordie Hunter just going to the body shop on the block and just punishing people.
Kings up 9-7 early. Phoenix ball out of the coach's challenge at the timeout. Foul on the floor as Foxwell tried to get past Valentine.
Clarify that was that ball to the foul call. Just go straight to a jump ball. Sydney get the ball. Go straight to a jump ball. The pass.
Foxwell underneath to Rapp, who took some contact.
Now, okay. Yep, a good thing resulted in that penetration by Owen Foxwell. But he's got to see that Mitch Creek had Jalen Adams on him. They switching the ball screens, and I'm sure Mitch is going to let them all know. It's the Danny Nong Jr. Austin Rapp gets himself to the strike.
First start last week. This is the first. He was 0 of 5 in 18 minutes last week. Scottie Pippen, who delivered the game ball to Vaughan Maybury before this one. And he'll join us in commentary early in the second quarter as well. Great to have Scottie Pippen back in the country, of course. Horace Grant, Luke Longley, all in town for the No Ball Tour, which is coming to Melbourne, Sydney and Hobart over the next week or so. Plenty to talk about with Scottie as he joins us. We're tied at 1 point the margin here. Still the Kings ahead. Adams forces his way through, and he's fouled.
Had some space with the elbow. Foxwell wanted an offensive foul. Jalen Adams does exceptionally well. He's just so patient on the string.
And he's got those slow feet. Like he can decelerate, kind of like what Luka Doncic has been doing in there. And yeah, very beneficial. What do you reckon, Joe?
Harlem Globetrotters coming to Down Under this year. There's all kinds of acceleration, deceleration, sort of 360 acceleration, whatever you want to call that, Damien. Celebration. When the Globetrotters are in town, you get your tickets on screen via the QR code. Plenty of basketball fun to be had for the whole family. Globetrotters in town for their 2024 Football World Tour. 3-point lead to the Kings, 11-8. They were up early against Illawarra last week and dug themselves in a big, big hole from that point forth.
That's just bully ball.
Creek going into the chest of Valentine.
Let's go back to it.
That's what I'm saying. Mitch could go for 40 if they give him the ball in the right spots. As Jalen Galloway shows off his athleticism and gets on the rim.
He's got to get back in defense because the Kings, one thing they can do is punish you super quick down the floor. That was off a made basket too. It was on Foxwell. This is that one, but you're right. I don't understand that. You just had Mitch Creek get an easy 2 from the block, go straight back to it. Until they're going to either double or try and heavily deny or front that post, roll it back in there, and everybody cut off the ball. Phoenix.
Well, young Phoenix fans, we love the Phoenix, but we wish we were over at Taylor.
Hang on a second, she doesn't come on till 8. You've got time.
Have that. You can still go tomorrow.
Roll over.
Have a couple of wins for the weekend. Galloway on a nice take, driving baseline.
Unlike you, Pete, I couldn't name 2 Taylor Swift songs.
Well, 5 titles have already been set in this broadcast so far as Ben Air gets downhill.
On whooshing over the head of our man Damon Lowry, Pete.
We'll probably get 22 more out, Joel.
We'll go through the fullback catalogue before the night's done, and I'm back tomorrow to go through some more as Adams scoots inside. That one won't count off the window.
Another unguardable guy out here on the floor. 2 unguardable guys, Mitch Creek and Jalen Adams. Jalen Adams working ball screens. It's just beautiful to watch, and his patience, the way he goes about penetrating. And Jordy, Jordy Hunter checks in.
Adams is just a mastermind in pick and roll too. Because of that patience and being able to slow down, his feet. That pick and roll with Geordie Hunt is different than Jonah Bolden, because you watch when he comes off and Geordie Hunt, how quickly he'll roll to the rim. They've got a very good combination. They know each other's game perfectly.
Really, Meadows just walks past, relieved that the club didn't stitch her up, and Geordie Hunter is out there. Here's Alex Toohey in the corner. Can't get that to go. Hunter and Hogue both fight for the rebound. Ladder rips it down for the Kings. Nice feed inside from Adams to find Toohey underneath.
Good awareness. Alex Toohey realising the smaller Ben Air didn't get out on the perimeter, just sealed up. Ben Air fronting so they could throw the lob.
So a good start for the Kings, exactly what they needed in this do-or-die clash. Creek loses it, going back the other way. Sydney trying to keep their season alive. Hunter's in the corner, the long load up, left it short. Hogue keeps it alive.
Now, okay, and I'm not gonna be banging on all game with this, but Geordie Hunter got 19-year-old Austin Rapp guarding Pete. Like, I'm not shooting threes and I'm not setting ball screens 25 feet away from the hoop. Just give me the ball, man. I got a child guarding me.
I know what you're saying, but Geordie Hunter's not really that back to the basket, throw it to him, make a one-on-one move. He plays really well.
Not even
off
against
the
a child?
but even like right there. He's not going to get points for that, but that's what we call the Gortat screen. Heard that on the JJ Reddy podcast this week. Martin Gortat, shout out.
Polish hammer.
Polish hammer, but that's what happens off the ball screen. Geordie Hunter's either going to roll or he's going to roll into his own defender, which basically frees that up for Jalen Adams. He's not credited for an assist, but that is an assist to Geordie Hunter.
So an early snooze timeout. Kings up 7, 19-12. Of course, this game so important for Sydney's season. Nerily Meadows caught up with both teams pre-game to talk about what it means.
Is this finals come early, given what's at stake?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, time has gone by quickly, but hopefully, we can take care of business. So looking forward to the opportunity that we have.
We kind of look at it as our first playoff game. So I feel like we've been playing playoff games for the last 2 weeks, just with the way the standings have been moving up and down. But we're fired up, ready to go tonight.
Playing basketball is fun, and if things go right, we get to spoil Sydney's night. It's always nice when another team is playing for something and you have something to spoil.
They got something to fight for. They got other guys back now. They didn't have DJ last time, but we know they're going to be a great team. We know they're fighting for finals. We hope we can get another one up on them.
They've been playing well, but we just, we got to get one. We got to get one.
I did not see the intersection between Mike Kelly and the Grinch coming, personally. I didn't have that on my bingo card for Mike Kelly's personality.
He's right. I mean, you look at it from a Kings standpoint, right? Just win and get in. Everyone's got a little bit of a fever break. Just go in there, just focus on one game at a time. Find your way into a semi-final series if you can. And then you've just got to win those 2. playing your best, but we've seen it in patches, right? When they're playing really well, what they did to Melbourne United and what they started the season of NBL24, it's there. It's just about showing it on a consistent basis.
If they make it through, would the next break be a help or a hindrance to them, do you think, Sydney?
I think it's... I think it helps them for the sake of everybody else. That can actually be an offensive foul, and it is on Mitch Creek. The fend off on DJ Hogue. Because everybody's in the same place, I think it's what helps them. But also, just winning this game is the crucial thing, but giving themselves enough of a margin where they can potentially get that first play-in tournament home game to host the 6th team, if they can finish 5th, will help as well. Budos Bank, when that is sold out, different beast.
I think that break would be great for the Kings, provided they win this one, because then that would give them time to have a kumbaya session, go to a pub, go somewhere and get together and just look each other in the eye, put their arms around each other and make a decision. Do we want to try to go for a three-peat, or do we want to go to Bali? That's going to be the decision that needs to be made.
This is only their second game in the last 14 days, the Kings. They haven't played a really busy schedule down the stretch. DJ Hogue at the line. Let's check in with Nerily to hear what Mike Kelly said at that last time out.
Yeah, he feels pretty exasperated at the moment, just addressing his boys in that timeout as this first quarter comes to an end. Executing the basics is the biggest concern, not allowing those wide open shots. A big focus on locking down Jalen Adams, who has 7 points so far. Ben Air with the job to do.
Not a small job. 2 of 4 from the field is Jalen Adams. John Cack leads the Phoenix with 4. That's another dunk. Settles for the floater. Can't get it to go. DJ Hogue with the rebound.
Real interesting lineup Sydney got on the floor right now. They're huge, with the exception of obviously Jalen Adams. But everywhere else, nice drive by DJ Hogue showing his class. Now when you run a ball screen with Mitch Creek, you're going to get a switch and you got size all over the floor.
That's another screen assist for Geordie Hunter. He's going to show up on the box score, but he's doing his job. When he sees an advantage, just screening whoever is guarding him.
Oh, Rungy on the take, behind the back, straight into the chops of Mitch Creek. Not quite how they drew it up. And Adams back the other way, steps back, cans the triple.
There they go. Things are feeling good.
4 3-pointers in this first term for the Kings. 4 of 7 from downtown. A lead by 14 points. Tarangi at the other end. He can't connect. Bounces around for Kenyon. 9 on the shot clock now for Ben Air. Makes his move inside. Dumps it off to Gack. Can't connect on that one in close.
And it's shots like that, they just can't afford to miss. The Kings have already got enough points on the board. It's going to be challenging for Phoenix to score those many points throughout the course of a game.
Here's this Gortat screen, all right? So Geordie Hunter realises Jalen Adams has the snake dribble and Matt Kenyon's behind him, so he just runs into Austin Raps. There's no worries. And this one right here, sees the advantage. He's just going to pin Mitch Creek, who's trying to front him. Very simple things. That's just a really smart basketball player making a really good read. And that'll be broken down in film for the Kings, and he'll get a pat on the back. And if you're Jalen Adams and DJ Hogue, you love that. You love that you have a big man who's that aware of what's going on the floor, who can have an impact without needing the ball.
Fair enough. I also want them to be aware of it when he's got a 19-year-old kid guarding him. But I hear what you're saying, Pete. Pick and roll Pete, we calling you now.
Some nervous Phoenix fans as that one was dropping. They thought eyes lighting up, might be burger time. Quite know he was able to get it to roll. A 15-point lead to the Kings. Tarangi wide open in the corner. That one's offline. Sydney can keep forging ahead. Adams with some pretty moves. Hogue's made a bright start to this one. Galloway with a strong take and an equally strong finish.
Did you see what Geordie Hunter did Pete? He's in the corner, getting ready to swing the ball. We look at the highlight, the replay here, and Jalen Galloway goes, you can't guard me one-on-one, sorry. But Geordie Hunter, they was going to swing it to Jordan in the corner. He says, no, give it back to Galloway, because he can't be guarded. So he's very cerebral, Geordie Hunter.
Changed my answer, Joel. Back when you said it's the break coming at the right time. If the Kings are going to play like this for the next 30 minutes, then they want to play on Wednesday.
Let's let them roll.
Because this is the Sydney Kings everybody thought we were going to be seeing a whole lot more in the back half of NBL24.
Have not seen it anywhere near often enough.
No disrespect, but keep in mind who their opposition is, too.
Hogue from way outside.
With their high octane.
That is 5 Mitsubishi Motors threes in this opening term for Sydney.
The player who's in front of you, Damon. They're playing the right way. We're seeing that through the first 9 minutes.
20 points is the Kings' lead. DJ Hoag's got 7 of them. Jalen Adams has 10. Still Gack leading the Phoenix with 4.
And that's the guy that's got to get going for the Phoenix, even though the season is obviously over. Is Gack. This is what he should have made.
Can't buy one at the moment.
Ruben Terengi's coming off a game last week where he was 0 for, and he's yet to trouble the scores now. And I'm sure Mike Kelly thought he could count on him for a few buckets. Just hasn't been happening for Ruben this year.
Kenyon with the hand in the passing lane, and then Bruce almost intercepted it at the other end.
I tell you what, this might be a challenge as well.
He wanted it straight away.
Now, I thought he was right. I think Sean Bruce was spot on with this. It looked like it was off Matt Kenyon. And never mind, he's not going to have to challenge it because the referees came together and said, let's get this right. Different viewpoints. Yeah, 100%. That's off Matt Kenyon.
Bit of officiating to realise the error and overturn the call. The timeout doesn't stand because it wasn't required. So 50 seconds remaining in this first frame. The Kings, of course, needing to win to make the playoffs. And they're up by 20 and taking care of business in the early stages against an undermanned Phoenix team. No Abdul Nader, no Gary Brown. Gack with a rejection on Hunter. He's made some impressive plays early. Statman tried to find him underneath. Bruce couldn't quite keep it alive.
Those are the little defensive efforts. You get beat, you help each other out, get some deflections. That's what I'm talking about, playing the right way. That's the really positive sign coming out of Sydney. It's the 32 points, but defensively they're moving. Causing some disruption.
Reese Vague in the corner.
Tough. Can't shoot it. Come off a nice little turnout. Off the screen, knocks it down. And the Phoenix sit back in the zone. And we'll see if it's holier than thou or not, because Sydney's got shooters.
Two-second difference, shot and game clock. Bruce passes it off the legs of Statman. Kings trying to get that lead back out to 20 or more as we head toward quarter time. Scotty Pippen to join us in the broadcast in this second quarter. Great to have him back in the country, sitting courtside here at John Cain Arena. His first leg of a doubleheader on your Saturday night. Tassie and Perth coming up from My State Bank Arena from 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time.
Keep an eye on Kouat-Noi.
6.5 seconds here. Valentine on the turnaround.
Just fell asleep. Phoenix.
Vague will have to go from just inside half court. Can't get it to hit. And the Kings have jumped out to the perfect start. They couldn't have conjured it up in their wildest dreams. They lead by 20 at quarter time over the Phoenix. time in the fire pit, and it is the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix who've got an almighty task on their hands at quarter time. The Sydney Kings came in, they needed nothing less than a win, and they've delivered in the early stages, trying to keep their season alive and their title defence. It's the Kings by 20 at the end of one, 34-14. Joel Peterson and Damon Lowry with you. It is a tremendous pleasure to be joined by NBA legend and six-time champion Scottie Pippen. Scottie, welcome back to the country.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
What have you made of your return to the NBL so far?
Well, it's great. I come back and I see that the Sydney Kings team is now fighting to be in the playoffs. So that's a bit of a news for me, but it's good that the defending champs will get the opportunity to defend their title.
Scottie,
they're going. They certainly will.
You remember when you had to defend your title and everybody, you got the big bullseye on your back?
Oh, yeah.
Did everything always get off to a good start? How'd you guys handle it?
No, it never gets off to a good start, but you have to be prepared, and you know that there's a target on your back, being that, you know, you are the defending champ. So, but that's just part of what the game is as a whole. You have to be prepared. Any night, any team can beat you. And back in my championship days, you know, we didn't take anybody lightly.
What's it like knowing that every time you step out there, the other team's coming for you, that you are so hunted?
It's a tough task, but I think as a player, as a competitor, that's what you want, that's what you expect. So as you become a better professional, you learn to take your job more seriously, and knowing that it's going to be nights where you got to dig a little bit deeper because every team is coming out to get a win.
Of course, you're in town for the No Ball Tour. Yourself, Horace Grant, Luke Longley's going to be here as well. Shane Jacobson's emceeing that. You're looking forward to seeing a bit more of the country?
Oh, yes. I'm looking forward to seeing Luke and Horace and hanging out with them and talking about some of our great memories as well. But, yes, it's always great to be in this country, and I'm able to come here and catch the weather great, too.
Now, Scottie, you say it's going to be no bull. Are you saying it ain't going to be any bull? Not even a little bit of bull? Did Dennis Rodman try to get on the tour with you guys?
No. We didn't invite Dennis on this one. But maybe somewhere down the road, but not on this first.
It's going to be so much fun. So many great stories to recount from those years, of course. Six-time NBA champion. You're here as well to help launch the NBL Finals Series, which we're heading toward as part of all this. The excitement around Final Series. As a player, how did you handle it when you got down to the business end of the season, be it playoffs or finals in the NBA? Were you the nervous type, or were you pretty much business as usual?
It was business as usual. I was always excited for the postseason. Kind of give you a little something to look forward to, and you know, after playing 82 games, you need something to sort of have a target to go after. So it was always great to be healthy going into that part of the season, more importantly.
How would you go about it? Because there's some teams now that's playing the games that don't really matter because all the ladder positions are already been set. So how would you approach a game like if you're coaching or if you're playing in it? Playing in the game like we saw the Melbourne United last night, it meant really nothing to them, and they dropped the game to the Cairns. How would you guys approach a game that you knew didn't really have any significant meaning?
Well, I think every game has a little bit of significance. You know, maybe the win doesn't mean anything, but it's the chemistry of your team, keeping that camaraderie, keeping that hunger night in and night out. I think that's the most important thing is when you're winning and when you're trying to play winning basketball, is that you don't want to lose that edge that you somehow have.
If people have got tickets to the No Ball Tour and they've been selling fast, what can people expect?
I would say they're going to hear a lot of stories and a lot of good memories about, you know, our championship teams and what it took for us to be able to win those titles. I won 3 titles with Luke. I won 3 titles with Horace, and just hear a little bit about the difference in those 2 eras of championship teams.
Now, Scottie, we old school, right? We both born in the 60s. That's probably about the only thing we got in common.
Yes.
But I got to ask you, what do you think about the current state of affairs in the NBA?
I mean, it's a different game. It's not the game that I grew up and fell in love with. It's not the game that I played in. But the game has become more of a shooter's game. And that's what we're going to see in the future. You know, And when you really look at basketball as a whole, it should be about shooting. But we never really focused on the game like that. The game has been about pounding it inside, take advantage of your size and your strength and your talent. And whereas now, the game is, let's take advantage of the talent that we have that can shoot the basketball. And that's where the game is going.
Who do you enjoy watching in today's NBA? Do you gravitate to players that play the way that you did, or do you gravitate to players that are a little bit different in style?
I like a different in style. I mean, I like the style that the Golden State Warriors played when they were at the top of their game. Obviously, they're not at the top of their game now, but, you know, I like watching the Minnesota Timberwolves, who's a young and up-and-coming team, a lot of young guns, and play with a whole different type of energy. So, you know, guys that can shoot the basketball has truly made a difference in today's game. And that's why Golden State was able to make their run the way that they were able to do it. And now we're waiting on the next team that can create that same kind of chemistry.
We're seeing teams now, we got like guys like Luka putting up big numbers and big triple-doubles. And you was a triple-double danger every single time you hit the floor. What kind of numbers do you think you'd be able to put up in today's game?
I don't know. I don't know how I would approach playing in today's game. When I see the players in today's game, as you said, the Lukas, it's great to see them have the 40 and 50-point games, but those kind of games just do not produce championship teams.
Say it again, Pip. Can I call you Pip? Say it. That's the conversations we having. Like, Luka got to understand, can you win a championship playing like this? Maybe an MVP.
No, that's all regular season basketball, and there's not going to be any teams that are going to have players that can produce them kind of numbers and win. You know, I played with one of the greatest players in the game, truly one of the greatest scorers in the game, and he knew as an individual he could not put up those kind of numbers and have success.
Well, if you're going and doing a lot of talks all around the world, and so many people want to, I guess, tap into your ability to perform at the highest level and to win. If you were to talk to an elite athlete about what does it take to win, is there a secret to winning, to being great? Where would you go with that? What was the thing that sort of defined you and led to your success?
Well, I think it has to not only be the individual, but it has to be a team deal. Everybody has to buy into it. It's about sacrificing, and it's about devoting yourself to wanting to be the best. And it's not just from one individual, but it's from 1 through 12, 1 through 15. Is that players got to, you know, focus on staying in, getting their rest, being prepared night in and night out. That's being a professional. You know, and being your best night in and night out, that makes the team better. But as an individual, you have to take on those same challenges. You have to go out and try to be the best that you can be as an individual and do whatever you can to be a big contributor to your team's success.
Great to have Scottie Pippen with us, NBA legend, 6-time champion, of course, appearing in the No Ball Tour, Melbourne, Sydney and Hobart over the coming weeks. You're watching the Kings, of course. Luke Longley's part of the ownership group. Did he give you some special advice to cheer them on in this game?
No, he just had to pay me a few bucks to bring him some good luck tonight. So it all worked out for him.
I got to ask you this one too, Scottie. Did you know your last game? Did you know it was going to be your last game? And if you did, how did you approach it?
I didn't know it was going to be my last game. I ended up leaving in 2005, and I didn't know it was going to be my last game. Just the situation wasn't right for me, and I just decided that it was probably best that I walk away.
Are there any regrets at the end of the career? Or pretty happy with the run that you had?
I was pretty happy with the run that I had, so I kind of went out on that kind of high, knowing that I felt like I left it all out on the field.
I think most people would agree with you the way you played. And now, of course, we've got a couple of potential high NBA draft picks here in the NBL this season. Alexander Saro for the Perth Wildcats. He's projected to maybe go number 1. Have you heard much about the big Frenchman, or have you seen him play so far?
No, I have not. I have not really dug into these future players that are going to be coming into our game here next year, but I I know that you guys have had some talent to come and be able to play in this league and work their stock up very highly in the draft. So I'm not doubting anything that you're saying, and I expect that we're going to continue to see players come out of this league and do well in the NBA.
We might see this man come out of this league and do pretty well, because Jalen Galloway's got some moves.
Got some NBA athleticism. Now, Scotty, as obviously being one of the top 50 greatest of all time, and you guys got those nice jackets to show it, I need you to talk to our NBL bosses, because I think we need to have something like that. And while you're at it, tell them to make it the top 500, so maybe I can get in and get myself a jacket. Do you think anybody missed out on that top 50?
I mean, there's always going to be people miss out. You know, I would be stupid to say, yeah, a lot of guys missed out, you know, but we only could put 50 in and we only could put 75 in. But, you know, in our game, there's a lot of great players. And I'm just happy that I've been a part of both of those teams, and very fortunate to have a long, healthy career.
What's on your list for your trip down under, Scotty? You get to see a bit of the country in your travels, and obviously the travels with the different shows for the No Ball Tour. What's one thing that you're thinking you need to do before you leave?
I need to go and visit the wine country here and really kind of break some bread over there. And let them get to know me.
What's your go-to
on
drop?
This side of the country.
What are you looking for in terms of a wine?
I like a nice Cabernet. But when I go to the winery, I'm going to want to taste everything.
Might as well.
Have you got anything scouted out so far in terms of locations?
No, not yet. Just got in this morning, so we're going to have a day off tomorrow, and I'll probably put a big list together of things I want to do.
Well, it's going to be so much fun to hear from you, and as part of the No Ball Tour, and of course coming up this week, we'll find out a little bit more about our final series. What do you make of the play-in format, like the NBA has? The NBL has it as well. Are you a fan of these kind of play-in games?
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't at the beginning, but I think it's great. It don't allow those teams to kind of cheat and not want to be part of being in the playoffs. So I think it's great, and now I feel like it keeps all the team a little bit more competitive, because there is money involved in it. When there's money, players tend to get excited.
Once you obviously been coached by some of the greatest of all time, did you ever think after your career finished that maybe you want to get in coaching, or you just going to be selfish, Scott, and keep all that knowledge to yourself?
I have to say I've been a little selfish. You know, I had 3 boys, and I got my last one. He's a senior in high school this year. So I've been a little selfish and staying at home and more or less wanting to watch them play than to keep my secret just for them.
Right.
Good way to go about it. Jalen Adams is going to be at the line here for a couple of free throws. Kings by 31. They're in a must-win situation, the Sydney Kings, today. I mean, they've come out and they've taken care of business. How hard is it to do that with the pressure of the urgency? Is it easier to come out and just deliver, or do you need to channel something special?
Well, I think they're in a very unique situation. Looking back over my career, if I was in a game like this, I like these games on the road where the Sydney Kings are, because I think the team has a bit of more of a come-together kind of thing. You know you're desperate. There's no one else in this arena cheering for you, so there's no reason why, you know, the 12 guys can't come in here and put something together and give their best effort, and we're seeing it right now.
Is anybody, Scotty, in the NBA right now that reminds you of yourself?
No.
Scotty said he's one of one.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, but it's just, you know, it's a different game now. The way I played the game, I enjoy playing defensive games. Like, I enjoyed when we played, we did full court trap. So those are things that I embrace as a player. I don't see guys that embrace wanting to play defense, wanting to cause havoc. That's the kind of player I feel like I was.
And a great and long legacy that you leave, Scotty. We can't wait to hear from you as part of the No Ball Tour and see you watching the NBL Finals. Enjoy wine country if you get out there, and have a nice quiet drop. And thanks very much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me, and all the best to you guys in the playoffs this year.
Scotty Pippen, NBA legend, joining us here in our coverage of the NBL, a 6-time NBA champion with the Chicago Bulls. And of course, you can hear from Luke Longley and Horace Grant as part of the No Ball Tour. Meantime, the Sydney Kings have continued to run away with this one. They led by 20 at quarter time. The lead is now 32. They are doing as they please. Jalen Adams has got 17 points, and he is filling it up, Damon Lowry.
Yep, they came out and did exactly what they were supposed to do, and just, oh my goodness, almost Foxwell just picked the pocket of Jalen Adams, caught him snapping. But yeah, the Kings have come out and did exactly what they were supposed to do. Now, looks like our top 6, our playoff 6 is set, and now the real ball begins. So what you want to do now is just come out of this game unscathed, no injuries for anybody, and start preparing.
It's Owen Foxwell to Luke Rosendale in the corner. He cans the triple. He is automatic shooting threes.
I'll tell you what,
Rosendale.
Mahmoud is fuming. He is screaming at the team to move the ball. There was an expletive thrown in the middle of that. He is not happy whatsoever. 2 back-to-back turnovers. He was halfway out, half-court line, screaming to his team to move the ball, because this is the problem now, right? Saw on the Harvey Norman replay. This game's done and dusted by the looks of it.
Another tough afternoon for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They trail by 25 at the snooze timeout. Pre-game, Nerily Meadows caught up with their coach, Mike Kelly, to talk about his first year in charge.
Have you enjoyed it, first year in charge?
No, not at all. You know, I love this group. The crowd, the fans have been amazing. So, yes, I have. And the people that are around me are great. But it sucks to lose, and we won't be satisfied doing that. So, yeah, it's been really frustrating. But, yeah, good people around us so I can see bright things on the horizon.
On the horizon, I know you said you're living day to day, but NBL24, is there something you really want to hone in on?
Yeah, I think it's a million things that will boil down to having a team, a healthy team on the court every week, playing with the right spirit all the time. And so I think it comes down to just continually surrounding the group with good people. And, yeah, we'll try to hone in on that.
Pretty straight shooting from Mike Kelly to start there.
He's had an awfully tough runner this year with can't control the injuries. And to be honest, his whole coaching career, right? Won a coach of the year in Cairns. Struggled the year after that. Got the boot. Assistant coach. Head coach of the Boomers stuff in FIBA windows. Head coach of the Phoenix. And anyone who knows him, he's a terrific basketball mind, human being, but he's had a really tough run of it this year with a lot of things he cannot control.
And he's an actual winner. Like, everybody would hate losing, as Austin Rapp knocks down a triple, but everybody hates losing, but winners hate losing even more. And Mike Kelly was a winner at every level that he's played at, and this just drives him nuts that he can't get out there himself and knock some threes down or knock somebody down or just lock up somebody. So he needs a full year. He needs a whole preseason and just to get his stamp, to get his fingerprints all over this team.
I wonder how this looks to start the third quarter from a Phoenix perspective. Might not see a whole lot of Mitch Creek, Matt Kenyon. Just going to run the youngsters out there with the scoreline as it is.
Here's an opportunity for them to get some more minutes. Guys like Austin Rapp, who can really make an impact. Of course, he's coming off a confidence-building couple of weeks, hitting a game winner for the Victorian Under-20 Nationals team.
Down in the Rat. Oh, Rat, beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, it is. We former minors, ain't we, Pete?
Yeah. Well, a current minor in Luke Rosendale as well, who signed with Ballarat during the season, coming from Bendigo, which is basically sacrilege going between those two teams, Damon. From Bendigo to Ballarat. I cannot have that. Good luck to Luke Rosendale as mid-air hits a tough shot coming across the lane.
The coaches that have come through the Ballarat Minors program, Ballarat has been spoiled rotten.
The Kings can't get a shot off to end the half. But the Phoenix trailed by as many as 32 in that term. And a little run to end the quarter has got the margin back at 24. But the Sydney Kings, needing to win to find themselves in the playoffs, are doing everything in their power at the moment. They understood the task and they are more than up to it. They lead at halftime 63-39, and Nerily Meadows is alongside Jalen Adams.
Well, Jalen, we spoke before the game, but last time they jumped you, they got off to that hot start. How important was it to start this well?
It's extremely important. I think that's the biggest thing, was starting early, not putting ourselves in a hole, and I think we did a good job in the first half, and we got to do it again in the second.
What about you? 17 points, so you're on tonight.
Yeah, for sure. My teammates are finding me in good spots. I was able to stick some threes early, get to the line. Hopefully I can keep it going in the second half.
All the best in the second half.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Jalen Adams has had a big first half, so have the Sydney Kings. In a do-or-die clash, they are doing, and they lead by 24.
on the line, and they're dominating so far, up by as much as 32 points and 24 points at the halftime break. But how about the excitement behind us? Because a fan of the Phoenix, has just won a car, if you're witnessing this at home. And I've got to say, a huge ups to the crowd, because they have been electric despite the situation that Phoenix find themselves in.
Phoenix might need to get that guy a roster spot for next year, because he's got some range.
I've never seen anyone win a car off a layup either. That's what's most impressive.
He's got all the energy in the world. Our Hungry Jacks halftime highlights, though, speaking of energy, it is Jalen Adams, and that's exactly what he wanted to bring tonight with their season on the line. 17 points in the first half. And taking a look at this, the Kings were really impressive right from the get-go. They wanted to rectify those wrongs from that upset.
Well, technically not from the get-go because they got put on a poster in the first 20 seconds of the game, but first half, up until that last 2.5 minutes of the second quarter, they were outstanding. And to be honest, now the game's margins looking as it is, it's all about playing the right way. If I'm Mark Wood, he called that timeout at the end of that second quarter to say, we just turn it over, pass the ball, we can't get complacent. We're playing for so much more than just winning this game. Now that it looks like the game's done and dusted, we've got to continue to build so that after the FIBA break, we really attack a playing tournament properly. And Jalen Adams, he's been the catalyst of the Blackmore shot chart. When he's up and going and everybody else is filling in their roles the best they can, good things are happening. And that first 17 minutes of a Sydney Kings team, if we see that in the finals and beyond, that's dangerous.
Just a reminder, Kings win and they're in. Brisbane are out. If they lose, Sydney are out. But at the moment, they're up by 24 points. Just a recap of the action that we've seen so far in this final round of the Hungry Jacks NBL season. First of all, it was Thursday night. Perth went down. They'll still finish second, but they had a couple of injury concerns as well. Not the greatest for the Wildcats.
No, it's not. Perth Wildcats, obviously, Bryce Cotton banged knees. Christian Doolittle dinged his shoulder, but the Illawarra Hawks was sensational. 3 straight wins over the Wildcats this season, and they are in form.
We'll wait and see whether the Stars are there to play tonight for Perth. For Brisbane, they had an opportunity to make tonight more difficult for the Kings, but they went down.
They did. They went down to a team that is playing superb basketball right now. Down Anthony Lamb, a potential All-NBL first-teamer. Parker Jackson Cartwright is one of the best players in this competition. But that's probably an understatement. It's Bryce Cotton, then it might be PJC. He has been unbelievable, and the breakers are firing at the right time, albeit down Anthony Lamb.
And in further confirmation that anyone can beat anyone on their day in the Hungry Jacks NBL, Melbourne United also went down. Chris Golding, his form of late, 5 points in this one. He was 1 from 7 from deep, 2 from 11 from the field. Are you concerned heading into the pointing end?
No, not really concerned. The Melbourne United have been the best team all season. Cairns Taipans, that was their 3rd win. Cairns playing with absolutely nothing to lose. United tried, but look, they just want to get to the finals.
Yeah, they're trying to limp there, aren't they? Yeah, they're going to finish top, and it's all about for them just trying to get to the FIBA break as healthy as possible.
This is the live ladder for those watching on at home. The Kings at the moment have knocked the Bullets out of that play-in race, so they're getting the job done. That's exactly what they need to do. Can they keep it up and keep that consistency in the second half?
That's what it's all about, and again, if the Breakers do lose to Adelaide, it'll come down to percentage. That last spot, who gets the home play-in tournament game, we'll find out.
Well, the Jack Jumpers are in action next, up against those Perth Wildcats. As we mentioned, we'll wait and see whether Bryce Cotton and Doolittle suit up for this one. The Jack Jumpers, they're likely to finish in 3rd, Perth in 2nd, but this has got to warm them up for that postseason. The finals aren't far away in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and the second half isn't far away here at John Cain Arena.
Bunnings is backing the next generation of ballers.
Today we're going to have a heap of fun.
We're at the Sandringham Sabres.
The St Kilda Slam has put on a show today.
These ballers from Redlands came out to see us a couple weeks ago.
They're huge basketball fans. Today we welcome the Blackburn Vikings down to John Cain Arena. It's the boss man, Charlie! Bunnings Warehouse done an amazing job getting all these families along, having all the kids there, 3,000 over the season, 14 games. Just being a part of it is going to be really special.
We're just returning the favor. We're excited to see their moves. Let's go, buddy! Yeah!
Hey! What up?
Hey, mate, son. Give me some love, brother.
Fuck it! There it is!
One day I would love to play for the Cairns Tigers.
What are you guys most looking forward to when you come to an NBL game?
To see how you guys play.
Oh, good job, everyone. Great job. Great job. High five. Keep up the work.
1, 2, 3, let's go! 3, 2, 1,
Bunnings Backing Ballers has given thousands of junior ballers across the country the opportunity to experience an NBL game day with their families and support their favourite teams. We thank the good people at Bunnings Warehouse for their support this season in backing junior ballers right around the country. Plenty of them in here as well. It is the Sydney Kings by 24 at half-time over the southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They got off to a swift start in a game in which they needed to win. Since then, it's been tailor-made for the Kings, 63-39 as we enter the second half. Joel Peterson, Damon Lowry and Pete Pooley, Nerily Meadows is courtside. First leg of a Saturday night doubleheader, Tassie and Perth coming your way from 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time after Felix von Hoff chairs up the Saturday switch. So plenty more coming your way, and Sydney taking care of business so far in pretty fine style. And a takeaway for the Kings on the first possession at the defensive end, and a lovely find from Bruce to Valentine, and they keep rolling.
Good patience there from Sean Bruce. He knew what he was looking for, but this entire half is just all about the Kings. When I say that, they don't need to focus on what the Phoenix do. They need to continue to play the way they started the first half. The first 15 minutes of that, they were terrific.
So as you would have seen on the live ladder at half-time, Sydney, by virtue of percentage, has overtaken New Zealand in percentage, which means that New Zealand win tomorrow and they will finish higher than the Kings and in the playoff standings. But if things shake out the way they do at the moment and the Kings stay on top of New Zealand, if they get beaten by Adelaide tomorrow, the Breakers, then Sydney will finish 5th as Adams with a really strong take to the cup. So that's important.
So basically what you're saying is Sydney's playing New Zealand in the first play-in game. That's what's looking like shaping up. It's just a matter of where is it going to be, if it's in Sydney, yep, or if it's in New Zealand. So, yeah, we'll see what Adelaide comes out with, what resistance they'll put up, knowing that their season is over with. So we'll see.
Illawarra and New Zealand can both still finish 4th. The Kings can finish 5th or 6th, or still 7th, of course, and Brisbane watching on could have finished 6th or 7th. It looks like those hopes are fading fast with another Denzel Valentine 3 and a timeout from Mike Kelly. The lead back out to 31 for the Kings.
And they're up and about. The players are up and about. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. A little shuffle, drop-off pass. Sean Bruce pretending to screen, but there was just no one really to screen. There was no desire from the Phoenix to get out there. Good timeout from Mike Kelly, and they're up and about. They're smiling, as they should, because they've been knocking it down from outside. They've hit 8 of 17 from 3, but the way they're playing, anything happens in a postseason. You forget everything that's happened. If you're there, you're on 0-0, you just focus about winning one game at a time.
The same thing that makes the Sydney Kings so tough can also be the same thing that makes them shoot themselves in the foot. Quick shots, one-on-one, not moving the ball around. They got that much talent that per man, they can all beat their man. And Mahmoud knows this. That's why he just says, look, move the ball still. Can we at least get 3 passes before you break your man down? So it's just a matter of just finding the right balance between that. And we'll get the best version of the Kings.
4 double-digit scorers for them so far. Jalen Adams has 19. Denzel Valentine, 12. Jonah Bolden, 10. DJ Hogue, 11. No one in double digits for the Phoenix. Mitch Creek leads the way. He's got 9 points on 4 of 10 shooting. Has the Phoenix captain, who is flying out of Australia tomorrow as he continues his basketball journey. Of course, trying to push for higher honours. Yes, Scud, Mark Philippoussis, regular at Phoenix games. the Australian tennis champion.
Yeah, if you're Mitch Creek or if you're Mike Kelly, how much more do you play Mitch in a game like this? He's obviously leaving. He's got, you know, got to go get his international money. And but Mitch is very prideful, and he doesn't want to sit here and just take an absolute beating. So he's going to keep playing. You almost have to protect him from himself. So I'm going to give him maybe, Pete, the half of this quarter.
Yeah, that's what
and that's it.
That's what I was thinking as well. And get the youngsters.
There's our Pump by Reebok VIP seats. Matty Sturt and Jay Crouch, couple of Australia's top CrossFit athletes. Jay Crouch was 8th at the last CrossFit Games, one of the fittest men in Australia. Matty Sturt, an up-and-comer in that regard.
You have saying that with the man next to you, Joel. That's a big effort. Well, around 50 kilometres this morning.
There is a YouTube video of Jay Crouch, and it is literally called "The Fittest Man in Australia."
Oh, that'll do it. Well, how do you respond to that, Damon? Them fighting words.
CrossFit? Might have to go with that.
They got the Navy SEAL ticket of approval.
I don't know if it does. I have to check the manual.
Do you do that in jorts too, or that's just the working side of things?
You know you want to wear some shorts, Pete.
Got great calves.
Adams can't float that one home. Gets in there and crashes the boards. Out to Valentine. That's a sweet stroke.
Oh, he's feeling good, Denzel Valentine. 3 or 4 from outside.
Now I got to make my compulsory Michigan State shout-out. Denzel from Lansing, Michigan. Me being from Saginaw. We had a little chit-chat before the game.
I'm going to pull up here
He's
for a
up,
check.
might as well let it fly. But it's been a few Michigan State dudes. I've said this before. We've had Travis Trice from Michigan State. Alan Ballinger, who's still out here in Melbourne, doing some work with the Melbourne United. I play with Mike Chappelle or Wollongong.
Pre-move from Tui.
Now it's about the opposition they're playing against. There's Denzel Valentine's 3. Don't worry about the easy shots, but just keep playing this style. Sharing the ball, having some fun. And I do like that Mahmoud called that timeout towards the end of the second quarter. Just realised there's a little bit of slippage. Just focus on themselves.
Game-high 35-point lead for the Sydney Kings, making their percentage up near 102. New Zealand is at 101 in the course of this season. Mitch Creek out there, guarded by Sean Bruce. A couple of Horsham combatants from the Wimmera district in country Victoria going at one another. Of course, you spent a season playing for the Horsham Hornets, Damon Lowry.
Yeah, the 1991 Horsham Hornets.
How many did you average?
Oh, just shy of 50.
Just shy.
I'm not going to say the competition was overly tough. Like that tough move Alex Tui just made.
I think your average stats would agree with that.
But in the Wimmera, when I was there, Mitch Creek wasn't born yet. He was just an idea. Sean Bruce, I think, was 1.
His dad was your team manager?
Yeah, old Stevie Bruce helped out the Hornets. So everybody in the Wimmera, we all know each other. We all support each other. And it's coached by the legendary Owen Hewen. So it is a rich tradition, rich history down there in the Wimmera.
And some people in the Wimmera are doing it tough. Some bushfires this week around Dadwell Bridge and Pomona, just at the foothills of the beautiful Grampians National Park. So thoughts with anyone who might have been affected by that during the week. The Victorian portion of the summer really ramped up. 35-point lead to the Kings. Biggest it's been in the game. Joel Peterson, Damon Lowry, Pete Hooley, Nerily Meadows with you. Saturday hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Kings are taking care of business.
This current result doesn't shock me, to be honest. I said off the top as Alex Tui, another chance for an and one. This is a team that's had to come out playing desperate, and they've shown that. As you mentioned too, Damon, if we had to say anything in the pre-game huddle in the lead up to this, there would have been issues. This team, playing professional basketball, you know that it's been an inconsistent season. Nothing should have had to be said to go out here and perform like this. And they're doing a tremendous job. There's only been 6 games this season decided by 30 plus. Unfortunately, the Phoenix has been on the wrong end of 2 of those, including the worst one by 38 to Illawarra. Remember that.
Yeah, it's not even about the scoreboard right now.
No, it's not.
It's just about, like, Mahmoud is leaving his starting 5 out there on the floor. And like Scottie Pippen said earlier, it's good when you go on the road and really try to, as Oren Foxwell knocks one down. When you go on the road and really galvanize your group, this could be exactly what the Kings need. Even though it's the Phoenix, it's not about that. It's about how we play with each other. And so far, so good.
Do you think you'd utter that sentence, Damon Lowry, as Valentine misses a three, as Scotty Pippen said earlier?
As my mate Scotty Pippen said earlier.
Part of our broadcast as Valentine crashes into Foxwell near the mid-court line.
But the one thing that nobody has doubted, the talent for the Sydney Kings roster has always been there. It's just that it hasn't clicked at certain times, and when things haven't been working, they've folded up. But the talent is there. So we're starting to see it on display, what it can do when all cylinders are firing. And that could spell some trouble if they continue to play this way. Just got to keep winning whatever game is in front of you.
But when you look at the top six, Pete, every one of those teams got talent. It's not like the Sydney Kings have NBA talent. I mean, everybody's got talent from 1 to 6. It's a matter of how do those teams play together and how do they gel. Who's the role players? Who's the emotional barometer for the team? And my question mark with the Kings is like we thought all season. Jaden Adams can sometimes doze off. Sometimes. But when he's up and about like he is now, he's the best point guard in the league, in my opinion. Although, after what PJC been doing, that is a hell of a debate.
19 and 7 for Adams. Tui's been on a hot streak. Can't connect. Adams is in there with the rebound and the dish to Valentine.
That was a miss from Alex Tui, but just that unselfishness. The ball flying around the court. It was barely a dribble. Everybody was just playing for each other. Extra pass. Great open shot. Jalen Adams with the offensive rebound. And Jalen Adams with 19 points and 8 dimes.
New game high 37-point lead for the Sydney Kings at 82-45. Foxwell misses the three. Rosendale's able to keep it alive for the Phoenix. Goes back to Foxwell, can't hit. Rossetto's there for the follow. 35 points to spread. Let's check in with Nerily Meadows.
I've got to say, boys, the margin of this game just speaks volumes for how big an upset that was the last time the two teams met, because Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they basically have the same lineup. Matt Kenyon, the only addition from that upset win. Even at the time, Mitch Creek said that he basically thought the only chance they had is if they all rolled their ankles in the warm-up, the Kings. And on that point, a shout out to all of the fans because they've stayed engaged, they've stayed in their seats. These Southeast Melbourne Phoenix fans have showed up time again, no matter the injured players, no matter the losses.
Yeah, their devotion and their energy cannot be questioned, Nez. Absolutely. Here's Sean Bruce from outside. Call window, didn't get the roll.
That is a great point because we saw how emotional Mitch Creek was after that game with him and Mike Kelly cuddling like they were. They was cuddling like me and you did, Joe.
Yep.
That was emotional. That was one of the biggest upset wins. And like you could go your whole career and never have a massive win. But that game that you're not supposed to win, those are great wins.
Back to Nez's point, shout out to the whole league and the fan bases. The way they continue to grow because Adelaide had their struggles. They continued to sell out. Cairns, Illawarra. Can't get a ticket to Illawarra anymore. I don't even know if they'd let you in these days. You'd probably make a call and they'd say, no, line up, mate.
We were in Perth with 10 or 11,000 of our closest friends at RAC Arena last week.
Reports of things moving, and again, it's a massive credit to all the fans who continue to show up. We're seeing it right now at John Cain Arena. I'm sure that the Nest, MyState Bank Arena, is going to be jumping for the next game with Tassie in Perth. Great time to be involved with the NBL and basketball in Australia.
Absolutely, it is. 3.5 minutes remaining here in this third period. Great time to be a Sydney Kings fan right at the moment as well. Adams outside splashes that one in, but a call on the play beforehand.
Just watching our friend, the host of the Switch, Felix von Hoff, came in halfway through and sat courtside and just got booted out of his seat.
Well, has he taken Scotty Pippen's seat? He just feels like he can roll into the great man's seating arrangement down there.
Just got asked to, excuse me, sir, that's, you don't have a ticket for that. He is sitting with an Olympian. So two different pedigrees of sport there.
Absolutely, one played a lot more defense than the other, that's for sure. Of course, the ladder predictor is the place you need to go if you're a Sydney Kings fan. You can find out all the permutations for tomorrow. The Illawarra Hawks are in the thick of that, the New Zealand Breakers. NBL.com.au/app, scan the QR code on the screen. Open up the app, top right-hand corner, find the ladder predictor.
Super easy to use.
There goes hours of your life, Pete, if you're anything like me this week.
Can't wait to continue to use that next season and beyond. And then on Monday night, I got the Gazies.
Yes.
Roll out the Gazies.
That'll be live streamed via the NBL app or the NBL website as well.
Pete, do you have the minerals to name your first team All-NBL? Because you've just been dancing around the edges, Pete. Who you got?
Bryce Cotton, good move there from Ruben Tarangi. Oh, no, you know what? I don't
Really gone out on a limb there.
Here's why, because I had Anthony Lamb as a lock, right? And I thought it was going to come down to Anthony Lamb or PJC, but they're both very deserving to be in that conversation. I hope PJC has stepped up even more than he already has with Lamb going down. I'm wondering if that recency bias in the voting staff, and it's Jalen Adams for his 9th dime to Galloway. Beautiful three, and this is just completely blown out. That's wild. I can't name it.
Thanks for your top 5, your first team, Pete. I knew you was going to do that.
I can't name between those two. I mean,
Need Pete into emergency surgery to remove those splinters from sitting on the fence, David. Good grief. It'll all be revealed.
Gary Clark's in there.
He's been a killer this season. Gary Clark, big part of the remarkable turnaround of the Illawarra Hawks. Of course, they'll be here tomorrow against Melbourne United, part of a big closing Sunday on this regular season. Kenyon out to fake. Oh, Luke Rosendale thought about it.
Luke Rosendale shooting 99% from 3. I don't need him hesitating at all.
That's a fallacy.
Shooting better from three-point than he is from free throws on the season. Tarangi gets blocked by Hunter. Big defensive play from the big man. Mazzetto's able to come up with it, though. He can't finish. Tarangi keeps it alive. To Bay. Bang.
Multiple opportunities there. Offensive rebound after offensive rebound.
And Mahmoud is leaving Jalen Adams out here for his entire 3rd quarter. Be surprised if he plays any of the 4th.
I think that's why he's doing it right. Get a couple more reps up, and he's just flat out balling. Denzel Valentine coming to the bench now, probably to come and get him.
22 for Adams on 13 shots. 3 of 6 from downtown. The Kings of the team, 11 of 24 from three-point territory. Rosendale on the take. Adams gets a hand in there.
And wanted the ball.
And leads Tarangi to it. Great play from Jalen Adams.
Tell you what, as you said, Damon, Jalen Adams is locked in like this. Look out.
That's the kind of desire that we've needed to see from the Sydney Kings.
Forced anything. 24 points, 9 of 14, 9 dimes. It's been everywhere.
Half a minute remaining in this 3rd period. Hogue is draped all over Rossetto. And the big Kiwi will go to the free throw line.
Check the replay right here and good deflection. Now, Ruben Tarangi took a peek. He didn't want it enough. And just to chase it down like that, when you have a 28-point lead, or 38-point lead.
Wow, I was going.
No, calm down. Calm down.
That's
for
quick math.
Yeah. For Jalen to chase it down with a 38-point lead just shows you the endeavor and what he's capable of. And why should Mahmoud have to settle for anything less?
Say it twice as if you got it right the first time. The more you say doesn't mean he got it wrong the first time.
That's 2 at the line.
-2 from that game.
About to take his water bottle, Pete. Got a quarter.
18 appearances for Anzac Rossetto's season. Of course, development player again this year. Try and lock up a full roster spot potentially next season. Noy on the take for the Kings. He can't hit. Single numbers on the game clock now as we tick down toward 3-quarter time. 3 seconds for Kenyon. In game 100, can he beat the buzzer? Not quite. And we turn for home with the Kings well and truly in control. A massive margin for Sydney, doing all they need to. At 3-quarter time, they're up by 36. Three-quarter time, and it is the Sydney Kings leading by 36 points. Denzel Valentine has had a big game with 17 points, 3 three-pointers. Alex Tui had himself a busy third term. And the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix came into this game with the potential to be the anti-hero, but it's been pretty easy for the Sydney Kings to shake it off. And they are up by a big margin at three-quarter time. Joel Peterson, Pete Hawley, Damon Lowry with you. Nerily Meadows is courtside with us. Of course, Perth and Tasmania coming up from 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time as the second leg of our Saturday night doubleheader as DJ Ho goes straight back to work.
In the 2-3 zone. I can't imagine they would have practiced it too often, and we saw that. Simple entry into the high post, and DJ Ho had a free throw.
Going to keep on coming here for the Kings. Valentine goes underneath to Galloway. This is training drill type stuff now.
They're having fun. The Kings are having fun at the Phoenix's expense. And hopefully it's things to come for the playoffs once it starts, if they can keep this same energy, the same intent. And I gotta, yep, they're down 40. But Mitch Creek is out here on the floor still battling. I'm telling you, this is, you can't help but respect it. He could have easily have shut it down and said to Mike, I'm done. But he's out there with his team. Playing with 0 imports.
Got a big off-season ahead too of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. The imports will be a big part of what they do. They bring Gary Brown back, do they bring Abdelnader back? A lot of questions ahead for Tommy Greer and the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Creek outside, Rosendale. Not quite that time.
Drops his percentage down to 92.
A really strong shooting season for Luke Rosendale. He's first in the NBL. There'll be another that's hoping to stick around after his first campaign. Go back to the NBL 1 and impress with the minors if he can. Tui checks in.
I'll be interested to see what young Aussie Pete in college who's not on the NBA radar, maybe not on a European type radar, wants to come back home, wants to come back to Australia and play NBL, and can Tommy Greer and Mike Kelly get some big names guys coming back?
Well, big names always hard, right? Because the next star program, the Johnny Furphy's.
You're not going to get Johnny Furphy.
Correct, but like
can they get Dukas?
Alex Dukas is the one who came to mind straight away for me. St Mary's has been playing really well. He's got a body who's ready for the NBL. He's played in the preseason games when St Mary's have had to travel down to Australia, and he's looked really good.
Elijah Pepper's making some noise.
As well, another one who's body ready.
You look at the impact that these kind of guys that with the college experience have been able to make. Obviously, we've seen Josh Bannon last night go off with the Brisbane Bullets, and he's been a really strong contributor.
Now, just hold him here. So, Vaughan Mabry's been here, I think, has copped one to the head and didn't look right. Didn't look right those last two plays down the floor, and Vaughan Mabry saw it and stopped and said, hang on, you might need to just get checked out here. So, right there, I think he just got an elbow from DJ Hogue in the wrong spot. Holding his head and struggling up and down the floor the last couple of possessions, and Vaughan Mabry saw it and just stopped the game. That's what you like to see. Go and get checked out. If you're all good, come back on, let it fly. But the important thing is you just get quickly assessed. So shout out Vaughan Mabry for being all over that. Just watching as well. Good.
Good bit of heads up refereeing from Vaughan Mabry. Of course, it's such an important part of the game these days, and
so innocuous, wasn't it?
You never know. It could be like a whiplash. It could still have the same effect.
I wonder whether maybe it happened some possession before that.
Kings have scored 6 points out of three-quarter time to lead by 42. And a tough evening for the Phoenix, as he predicted it might have been. Their roster in this depleted situation. Mahmoud Abdel Fattah wants to talk it over with his team. Snooze timeout, and it is the Kings by 42.
Percentages are important, like you said, Pete. So I initially thought, Mamu, why are you calling timeouts with this kind of a lead? I got to get home. There's some Swifties out there in the streets. It's going to be hell getting home. But he's thinking percentages. He's thinking, I got to make sure I get as high up the ladder as I possibly can.
You just never know. You never know what could happen. If Adelaide come out and say, our last game of the season, Solar Entertainment Centre, let's just have a free swing, we don't miss, and they beat New Zealand, you're playing in Kudos Bank Arena.
Yep, so they're up to 102.12 on the live ladder at the moment, percentage-wise. New Zealand are at a flat 101.
So it's New Zealand lose, that's it. That's
yep.
Pretty simple.
Yep. So they can't gain percentage with a loss, of course, and a win tomorrow, and New Zealand would then get to 14 wins. So 42-point lead to the Sydney Kings. Of course, first leg of a Saturday night double-header. Potential playoff preview down in the Apple Isle. Tassie and Perth coming up next. The Jackies and the Wildcats getting ready to go. Teams that have both been in some pretty fine form of late.
I wonder if Bryce Cotton has made that trip to Tassie. Oh, there he is. Bryce is there, but will he suit up?
No, they've just announced that he's not going to play.
So Bryce is out. So I wonder, when's the last time the Perth Wildcats played a game without Bryce, and did they win that game?
Certainly haven't played without him this season. DJ Hogue from way downtown racks up triple figures for Sydney.
7.5 minutes to play. DJ Hogue, especially on the defensive end that first half, he was so active. That's what I like to see. That's another real positive to take out of this for the Kings. In the 40-minute era, the most we've seen put up is 130. Back in 2019.
The biggest margin is 49.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one right there. Well, oh, geez, we have the best crew in town to go back and find that. So it wasn't the one after that. That probably makes it a little more worrisome how quickly he went down from the one before that. That's an excellent find. Hopefully he's all right.
Absolutely, he's looking a little forlorn on the bench at the moment. Of course, next to Craig Moller, who's been out for quite a while now for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix with a season-ending injury. Good defence from Tui to disrupt that of Creek. So yeah, the biggest win in the 40-minute era, 49 points. Brisbane Bullets lost 2.
Sydney Kings, yeah, I remember that game. Oh, goodness.
Last year, of course, among the turmoil for the Bullets. Sean Bruce can't get that one to go.
Back in 2019, New Zealand put up 130. They beat the Hawks. I don't know if they'll reach the 130 mark. I don't think there was any overtimes in that game. Oh, that's just a standing offensive effort.
The Breakers in action tomorrow against Adelaide, Illawarra and Melbourne to close out the regular season. Again, every moment matters in this NBL campaign, and tomorrow's a perfect example of that.
The game after this, spoke to Scott Roth a little bit about this week. He said, what are you going to do? You've got third sewn up. You're going to rest some guys. And he said, absolutely not. So we're playing this game. He said, will our rotations change in the second half? Maybe. But going out there and trying to play the right way.
And don't forget, it's their teal game. That's massive. That is, Scott said last week, you know, they lost a key member of their community. And this teal game represents people like that and the loss that they experienced. So don't think for 1 second that you're not going to get 100% full jack jumpers. So if the Perth Wildcats want to tippy-toe around, it could get ugly.
Yeah, Joe Harris was a member of the Jack Jumpers community. They lost recently, so it'll be a very emotional night down in Tassie tonight. The team will be courtside to bring you all the action.
Alex Tui's been really good in this one. Really active, really patient. Watch Malawatch into the game as well. We've got 6 minutes, Damon, to see some sort of highlight on the break. We're in the half court. And one of the dunks of the century, NBL1.
Yeah, he did. That Darwin Salty's NBL1 team.
Step ladder.
Knows this building well, of course, as well. Been a DP with Melbourne United. He can deliver in these final moments. Valentine working on Creek. Has the ball dislodged. 3 on the shot clock now. 4 on the shot clock for Bruce.
The pass.
Threw it toward Tui, who didn't quite see it coming. Statman in rhythm. Coxwell kept it alive. Down on the floor.
Haven't been shy from outside the Phoenix. That's what normally happens when you're under man. All the ones they knocked down in the State Basketball Centre. They're 6 of 29 from D, just 20%. No one's hit more than one.
Which is exact opposite of what happened when they beat the Kings the first time, or the second time. They was actually, everybody was hitting shots. Mitch Creek was dominant. If we look at the Mitsubishi Motors live ladder, and the Phoenix might be in 11th place.
See that percentage for the Kings, all important, 102.27. Does mean that if New Zealand's go down tomorrow, that Sydney will sit ahead of them and host that 5v6 play-in qualifier. Of course, Tassie to host the team that finishes 4th in the seeding qualifier.
You aware that you just said exactly what I said, but in reverse? There is proof that you weren't listening.
That one's a foul.
What was that?
That one's more of a foul. Foul 30, black.
I'm listening to you. I'm just like, oh, I just said that. It's all right. You've got Taylor Swift on your mind too. I understand, mate. I understand. We are all in the all caught up in the Eras vibe.
It's been an amazing afternoon here, coming into the precinct to see so many people.
It's nuts out there. We got A-League soccer.
I don't know if that's the adjective I would have used, but it's been chaotic.
We got the same. It's a festival going on in St. Kilda. It's just all happening out there in the streets. Take my ass home when this game is over.
Matchbox 20 and the Goo Goo Dolls were here yesterday. I'm flat I missed out on that. You know who they are, obviously. Just mate. Actually, you didn't. We had to play you some Matchbox 20 and Goo Goo Dolls last week.
Educate me, man.
A timeout here. 46-point lead to the Sydney Kings. 105-59. 4:34 remaining in this one. Coming up, it is, of course, Tassie and Perth down at MyState Bank Arena. Let's get a preview of that with Jack Heverin and the GOAT, Andrew Gaze.
Yeah, thanks very much, Joel. Can't wait for this one. We are in the house at MyState Bank Arena for the teal game between Tasmania and the Perth Wildcats. The GOAT, Andrew Gaze. Second versus third. Is it a semi-final preview?
I think so, and that is, of course, unless the Perth Wildcats can lose by 125 or something like that.
So you're ruling that out?
I'm ruling that out as any sort of prospect. But no, this is an exciting contest. We've got two teams that are playing some really good basketball at the right time of the year, albeit that the Wildcats coming off that loss to a very feisty Illawarra Hawks. But there's a buzz about this city, Jack. There is an excitement in the building and in the community, and it's hard not to get swept up in Jack Jumper mania.
Cannot wait for it. That's coming up as soon as you guys finish. It's the JJs and the Wildcats at MyState Bank Arena.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Gazy. Look forward to hearing from you a little bit later on. Liam Santamaria will be down there as well as part of the team. There's Chris Anstey sitting courtside, Australian basketball legend.
Just renovated a country pub as well.
Right. Also, I believe is an owner of a New Zealand women's team, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he's definitely the owner of a men's team because recruited Mitch McCarron and Sam McKinnon's coaching, so it might be double. Double whammy.
Holden driving inside. Foul on Austin Rapp. Some reports in News Corp during the week that the Phoenix are trying to convince him to stick around and not head off to college. What do you make of that, Pete?
Well, I personally don't like it. College best experience in my life. You learn so much, not just about the college lifestyle and time management, all of that. You learn a lot about who you are, and you have to grow up quickly. And
what was your GPA, Pete?
Well, going down that, my undergrad or my master's?
Oh!
So, my master's was a 398. I'll never forget the teacher. He gave me an A, my only A- in my master's. He asked, I didn't tell him much.
Just a little bit of a flex.
I think, what was yours? Are you trying to compete?
As Owen Foxwell goes to the rack.
Yes, Damon busily takes a drink of his water.
Hey, as I got told after I put in all the time and effort, what do they call a doctor that came last in the class?
Physio?
A doctor.
Oh.
DJ Hyde can't connect. Here is Austin Rapp.
I'm with you though, Pete. Austin Rapp, if it's me, go to college, man. You like the NBL isn't going anywhere. It's a great league, obviously. It's a stepping stone league. You get yourself to the league if you're that good. But I think Aussie Rapp needs to get over there and experience and just be coached a little bit more. He's played NBL1. He's done that already. He's done under 20s already. And I don't feel like he was ever going to be in that deep rotation. And Mike Kelly's going to put together a different roster possibly next season. And I don't know how many minutes is there for Aussie Rap. So if it's me, if I'm the Rap family, Tim and Jules, I'm sticking with Portland.
Well, the Next Star program is obviously different, right? It's a completely different beast. We're talking about how terrific that is for the players to get drafted. But for the young Aussies coming through, and as you're right, if you haven't had that instant impact or rotation in the first couple of seasons, around that age of teenagers going into early 20s, everybody makes some sort of mistakes, right? Whether it's school, whether it's something you've just done on the basketball court, what college teaches you is how to deal with that, how to get through that, how to be a better person and learn from it. If you are playing professionally at that time, it can be a little harder to deal with because there's money involved, and obviously it's a completely different landscape from college. So that's one thing that I really took out of that, is the growth you have as a person.
Foxwell from way downtown splashes that one in. Going to have a timeout here for the Sydney Kings. Alex Tui just checking out of the game as well, as we see the Harvey Norman replay. Owen Foxwell just stepping into one and lacing a three-pointer. He's got 16 points to lead the Phoenix. Has Foxwell.
He's been great, Owen Foxwell. Another one that a lot of people thought maybe ends up going to college, but has shown now that he's coming in and making an impact.
Yeah, he's got some minutes kind of almost gifted to him due to injuries. They know they had Will Cummings early. He left. Obviously, Gary Brown being out. So I think Owen Foxwell's benefited from that.
45-point lead to the Kings. Nerily Meadows caught up with Mitch Creek pre-game to talk about his aspirations later this year with the Boomers.
On a personal level, obviously Paris Boomers is always the goal for you. Do you feel like you've done enough this season, and how do you add to that postseason?
Yeah, obviously, playing for Australia is always one of the things that I'd always like to check off again. Unfortunately, the last couple of years haven't played that way, but right now I think I'm playing myself into a great position. I've got contracts overseas that I'll leave pretty much immediately for, and just kind of staying as much in as game shape as possible. I think we've learned anything. If you're not playing a lot of minutes coming into World Cups, Olympic Games, then you're going to be in a really hard place when the pressure does come on to play 35 minutes a game. I just know I've got to stay in good shape and in a great place mentally, and I think I'm doing that with the decisions I'm making.
So Mitch Creek headed abroad after this one. Interesting to see what the future holds for the South East Melbourne captain and star. I think a little bit of a jostle with Luke Rosendale on the bench. 45-point lead to the Kings. Would be the equal second biggest win in the 40-minute era if they are able to hold on to that kind of a margin from here. Biggest being 49 for Sydney. Add another 2.
They have played the right way. That's been the most impressive thing. Very easy just to go out there and just take quick shots, not go through the motions, but everybody's moving off the ball. Defensively, they've just been on the same page, albeit that last 2 minutes of the second quarter.
Rungy can't hit on that occasion. Done exactly what they needed to do, Sydney. They might have just put a little bit of a scare through the competition in the process as DJ Ho gets to 113 points. It ties the season high for the Kings.
The one guy that hasn't hit the court for the Sydney Kings, Angus Glover, which is a little bit surprising given the margin, but I've been checking him out down on the bench, and he's not pouting. One thing you know about Angus is he's always going to be ready to play whenever you call his number.
Sam Timmins is ready to check in. So maybe there is just something wrong as DJ Hogue tries to continue his hot night, and this is the DJ Hogue the Sydney Kings recruited. 25 points, super efficient, as all the Kings are. 59% from the floor, 45% from 3 and 80 from the stripe. But DJ Hogue, 25 on the night.
That jumper is as pure as it gets.
He is the smooth operator of the NBL. He's DJ Hogue. He's so good to watch. The Kings have really hit their straps with a season-high 116. No team scored more than 118 in a game so far this season.
That's in trouble.
Absolutely it is.
130 of the record in the 40-minute era. It looks safe.
Well, the record margin, the 40-minute era of 49 may not be, because they can potentially have it to 50 on this possession. Sam Timmins loses the rock.
Now somebody should foul right now so young Jackson McCoy can get out there and get this last 68 seconds.
Timmins nearly tipped it in at the wrong basket. Shout out to Alex Tui on his night as well. 16 points, 7 of 11. He's been a really rough trot. Hadn't had double digits since round 12 as Galloway makes it a 52-54 point game.
How many times have we seen that? That defensive intent hasn't been there for the Phoenix, which we can expect being undermanned.
Wrap from outside. He splashes the triple. That's a good sign from the young man.
Any bucket is a good bucket on your way before you head over to college, playing in a big boy league. Good to see.
Record win for the Kings in any season is 50.
Oh, there it is.
Malawatch hammers it home.
Told ya.
And that's a bit of an exclamation mark on a great evening for Sydney. Statman at the other end can't connect.
Perfect pass from Jackson McCoy. Saw his boy on the wing. Put it up nice for him.
He can get up. Have a look at that. You could fit 3 Damon Lowrys under that. Clear that easily. I'm not saying that. That's not saying much of a job.
When you get home and your wife says, "Why is your shirt all wet?" I can't believe Damon dumped that whole bottle of water on your head.
Not as quick as you drink them.
So the margin is 53. Kings with a season high for any team, 120 points.
Not 2 in a row. Oh.
Underneath, Malawatch lays this one home. Had the power and now just the finesse. Showing his full wares.
This match from the 9-minute 40 mark of the first quarter after Klutchok-Gax post a dunk.
And then a second, and that was it. Timmins swats vague. 12 seconds. And the Sydney Kings, the 2-time reigning champions, have taken care of business. They've booked their ticket into the postseason. They can't finish with one more for the road. But the Kings will be in the playoffs with a club record 55-point win over the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They came here with business to take care of, and it was business that Sydney meant. And they will cruise into the postseason exactly where they finish to be determined tomorrow when New Zealand face Adelaide in the City of Churches.
You said it perfectly there. This is a business trip. Couldn't be any more simple. Win and we're in. Lose and we go home. We start our off-season early. And again, after that first dunk from Gak, they never look back. And I don't know if it's sending danger messages to the rest of the league, Damon. But again, this is a Sydney team. I know they were playing a very undermanned team, but this team firing like this is what a lot of us expected to see a whole lot more.
We did. They got firepower from 1 to 10. It's just a matter, like we've been saying all season, can they bring it all together? Can they all get on the same page? Because now the room for error, the margin for error in the playoffs is just shrunk.
It's a scary prospect if the Kings can recapture this kind of form. So a 55-point win, the highest score of any team so far this season with 122 points and a club record. 55-point win, the biggest win by any team in the 40-minute era. A massive performance from the Kings, exactly what they needed. And for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, a disappointing season comes to an end. Kings 122, Southeast Melbourne 67. Let's check in with Nerily Meadows.
Jalen Adams, you've just recorded the Sydney Kings' biggest ever win, the biggest win in the 40-minute era in the NBL and the highest score of the season. That's some way to stamp your spot in the final.
Yeah, for sure. We came out with the right attitude, right approach from the jump and played 40 minutes. All 12, 14 guys, and we did a great job tonight, and we trying to carry it over into the playoffs.
When we spoke before this game, you said defense. Defense is the key. You just held the team to 67 points on their home court. What does that mean?
I think it just shows what we're capable of. When we defend like that, we can get out and run, play in transition, and when we play fast, we're a tough team to stop.
Speaking of what you're capable of, are you capable of going back to back to back? You've done it the hard way so far.
Yeah, one game at a time, one game at a time. That's still the goal. It's always been the goal, but it's one game at a time.
Appreciate your time. Well done.
Appreciate it.
Nerily Meadows with Jalen Adams, who had a very busy night. 24 points, 9 of 14 from the field, and right from the tip, he was into it.
Looked like an MVP. That's what he was a couple of seasons ago, and really in control of this entire game. Not only that, but we know he's kind of that guy, as you said, Damon. He can be quiet at times, and that's just, I think, his personality. But what he's not quiet about is putting the ball in the basket. He is a certified bucket getter. Just out 9 assists as well, very efficient. And He's the leader of their ship.
He said it. He came out with the right attitude. That's been the biggest question mark on the majority of the season of what their team attitude has been like. So they've obviously had a chat. It's getting closer to business end, and that's how they have to come out and play. And he led from the start. And once he's playing like that, you can't guard him.
And for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, a pretty tough campaign comes to an end. So they finish 11-17 on the season, and it was really the injuries that derailed it the whole way through. Big win for the Sydney Kings. They did exactly what they needed to. They bring an end to the Phoenix's season, and theirs will continue into the playoffs, 122-67. Plenty more coming up. We'll hear from DJ Hogue. Of course, the Saturday Switch not too far away. Stick around. The Hungry Jacks NBL.